Hey guys, I know I promised you guys the way that my grades went from this to this, so I'm gonna get right into it. So I was studying for my first time for OB, okay, period. The way I was studying the ATI book, and when I tell you that was not enough, that's not enough because my grade was this. And I just basically changed the way I was studying and not harder. So what I did was basically every topic that we go over, and we had to do like an ATI modules to it. I was basically aligning, sorry guys, the camera quality. I was basically aligning all the topics that we were doing in class to the topics that basically was on the ATI, and I basically read everything, okay? And anything that I was not understanding, I wrote it down, and then I basically requested like a tutoring, and asked tutoring that basically explained it and then do practice questions with it. Okay, so the second step, as what I told you, and when I go to class, I'm not gonna lie, like I focus, but my mind goes somewhere else, so I end up starting recording. And when I record, I basically use a transcript and basically read everything to get into it, okay? And when I read, I basically read to understand, not read to memorize. I read to understand, and to understand the concept of each of the questions what was be asking. So when I did that, I noticed that my grade went from this to this. I said, okay. So I said, you know what? Let me change it up a little bit. So now, once I did that, I do those two concepts. I started applying practice questions, okay? And I started doing a lot of practice questions and stuff. And the practice questions was basically correlating with what I was reading. I said, okay, yeah, I got this. So that's basically what I do recommend, changing up the way you study, because everybody is different. They can be tactile, they could be auditory, and they could be visual learners. So everybody is different, okay? My learning style is basically seeing something, hearing something, and doing something. So that's basically, I'm a visual learner, you know, and I'm tactile as well, and auditory. So that's basically what I did. I changed up my study style. I did a lot of practice questions. And also when you're applying these practice questions, you always know that you have to assess the patient, okay? And if questions are not there to assess the patient, you always want to think about A, B, and C. Airway, breathing, circulation. And like it's A, B, and C, you'll always eliminate the whatever one. And then like if the two questions that's there that are the same, you will always want to assess the patient, or you'll always want to choose what can save the patient's life, okay? So that's basically what I recommend. And then with interventions questions, you need to see like what's going to make the patient better, you know? And when you report, you always report last. Let that be the last consequence before you know, because you have to do what you need to do before you call the doctor. And yeah, so I do recommend changing up your study styles. And for me, like if I have class like for Monday, I have Sims, and then Tuesday I have lecture. What I do is Wednesday I'm going to relax. Thursday I start getting into the study, and that's what I start to read. Like Thursday I give my whole self, you know, relax, do motherhood and everything. I just go into the study. And when I go into the study, guys, I basically hop on Friday. Now when Friday I start do all the practice questions and do everything, and then Friday we have like a little tutoring. I basically align everything I practice into that, and anything I don't understand I go back and I join everything together. And that's how I was able to change my grade, guys. And yeah, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I saw those exam questions, I wanted to walk with the exam. If it wasn't for the mighty God above, me praying and keeping here by my faith and keeping me by my side and being my mom, my dad, listen, okay, listen. And yeah, guys, that's what I'm saying. When you're in nursing school, you're always going to go through trials and tribulations. So I feel like anytime you're tested, this is the time for you to pray and keep your faith, because there's nothing in life that's worth easy is worth having, okay? If you get that easy, it's not worth having. You have to have dignity, you have to have resilience, you have to have the compassion, you have to have patience, you know what I mean? That's not for you, because you want to be in the medical field. And that's why I always knew for myself I wanted to go to nursing school to be a nurse, because that was always in me. I always wanted to nurture to help, you get what I'm saying? And that's a little tea. And if you guys like that, comment down below, like, comment, and share, and let me know, guys, what you want to know more about. Bye.